I'll share with you a deal that we're looking at that I want to potentially invest in. And we didn't make a decision yet if we want to invest in it or not. But I think will be a great experiment to look at a deal pretty much for the first time myself. Like I just had back and forth questions. I didn't really dive into the business. I want to share with you my thought process when I look at a deal, what I want to look at, what I like about the deal, what I don't like about the deal. And maybe we can have an open conversation to see, what do you guys think? Would you invest in this deal? Would you do this deal? Would you go out there and do whatever it takes to get investors to invest in the deal? And for those of you who don't know, by the way, this is a deal of one of our accelerator members. So that's a guy that went through our process and learned the process, found the deal, was able to get the deal under an LOI, which is a letter of intent to buy the business, was able to get the bank to finance, like I'll look at the numbers in a bit, but like 89% of the deal. And now we're looking to raise like 5 or 10% of the rest of the money. And we're potentially looking to invest in the deal ourselves with our fund. So I'm going to go through the deal and share with you my thought process around that and see what you guys thinking. If you guys want to see how you can be one of those people that will potentially invest in their deals, you can go to acquisitions.com/apply. You need to go through our accelerator, through our process. Then if we like your deal, we invest in you. If you allow us to partner with you, and then we'll even refund your accelerate deposit after you went through our process and bought a business with us. So Ronnie said, I want my own access to capital partners without having to use PE firm. That's exactly why we're looking to invest in companies ourselves, because we found out that in the market, the biggest problem with those people that want to buy businesses is access to capital. So with us, not only that we built connections with financial institutions, if it's debt, cash flow, asset lenders, but we're also going to provide the equity side of the deal. Yeah, for those of you who are new, the way to pretty much finance those acquisitions, going out there and looking at deals that you potentially want to buy, businesses that you want to buy. And the ideal scenario is not necessarily to use 100% of your money unless you want to be a passive investor. So you can definitely put your own money, investing in a deal and then getting return on your money like you're trying to get return in the stock market or in crypto or real estate, right? So you can do that with small businesses. But then if you want to do bigger deals, you don't necessarily just want to use your own money, you want to use other people's money, right? That can be a combination of banks, that can be also bringing equity investors, which will be partners with you in the deal. The gap that we want to bridge in the market, there's a lot of people out there nowadays with everything out there who are trying to go out there and buy businesses, but they don't really have access to some or all of the equity needed to close the deal. And no matter how many deal structures we provide them with, it's just going to be so much more helpful for us to just give them that capital if we can. Plus, I know that a lot of people, if they go through our accelerator, they'll be much more inclined to take the money from us because they already know us, they trust us. And then we're not only going to support them in closing the deal, we're also going to support them in operating the business and growing it. Plus, we have a network of a lot of M&A entrepreneurs, business owners that we can then merge and create roll-ups in different spaces. So that's just the overall idea that hopefully will give you an explanation of kind of like what we do and why we do what we're doing. We can buy those businesses at a very low multiple. So unlike public companies, if you look at companies like Tesla, which you're probably all familiar with, I think the last time I saw it, they're trading at like 1,000 times multiples on their profits. Or I'm not even sure they're making profits, or multiples of their revenues. Like you see SaaS companies trading at like 50, 30 times multiples of revenues, 300 plus at this point. So the beauty with small businesses is that you can go out there and buy small businesses that maybe are not as big as some of those public companies that you're looking at. But what happens if you use leverage? What happens if you raise capital from investor and it's not just your money? It's impossible to get with public businesses because those businesses are already too big. So you can get maybe, if you get 10, 20% a year, you're lucky. But I think we've all seen what happened in the last day or two in the public market. Like I know a lot of people that a few months ago thought they're geniuses investing in technology companies, but now, some companies are like 50, 60, 80% down from their peak. Our goal with what we were looking to do this year is to invest in the businesses and open some of those investment opportunities for you guys. Buy those businesses for 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times multiples of yearly profits at most. Grow them, ideally merge them with more companies and then sell them or take them public, right? That's the goal. Cool. So with that being said, let's start to look at what I have here. And like whatever I look at, a lot of those things I look at it in the first time. So I'm just going to literally think out loud. This is a deal from a guy who's in our accelerator. And he just literally sent me the deal. So here's the way to look at it, right? So we have dates here on the top, right? You see April 20, that's 21. I assume that's for all 21. we have 22, we have 19, and we have 18, right? So those are the years. So we basically have the last few years of financials of the income statement. The income statement, which is also known for P&L, profit and loss statement, that's where you can see the revenues, pretty much some of the main expenses, and the profit left after all the expenses, right? So let's start and go through one by one. So what do we see here? We see gross revenue. So in 2021, we have 3.3. A year before that, we had 3.5. Before that, we have 1.7. And before that, we have 1.6. Let's look at the cost of sales. So I have 187, 160. And then we also more than doubled our cost of sales. And then things, kind of like stay the same. I dislike these numbers. Look at the percentage of revenue. Also, cost of sales. By the way, for those of you who don't know, what is cost of sales? Cost of sales is basically the cost that is in direct relation to going out there and delivering the product or service. Those are the cost of sales. Then we see the gross profits, basically the difference between gross revenue and cost of sales, right? So I'm looking at what we have here, and then we'll see percentage of revenue. I mean, look at the percentages as well, right? So the percentages went up and then went down. Right. And again, all those are questions that I just don't have enough data to know what happened. There might be a good justification to see why the margins here went down and why here it went up. We just don't have the full picture here so far. But I think it's starting to give us an interesting idea, right? Okay, we have like 3.3 million in revenues, right? What happened though? I want to understand how many employees deliver that amount of revenues. Right? I want to understand what's the revenue per employee. I want to see if the business is productive. Is it producing the most amount of revenue per employee that is possible? I want to see, can I find other data with other similar companies and see what kind of revenues per employees they deliver? All right, that's interesting. What's happening here? So the pre-tax income is in a negative here. What happened here? And obviously we don't have enough data. I don't know. Did this guy went out there and just bought everything he can under the sun? I need full details, right? I need to know where those expenses goes to. I don't know where, like, are those expenses anywhere related to the business? Am I going to have similar expenses next year when I'm the business owner if I'm buying this business, right? I need to know the full details. Hopefully he bought a lot during COVID. At least like 100%, like I really don't know what's going on here, but that's the first kind of reaction. All right, guys, so that's the first thing, right? Now let's go back to the folder and see what information we have in the folder that might allow us to learn some of those lessons. Okay, there you go. You see, guys? Look how much money he paid for himself. Officer's compensation, pension, profit sharing. Okay, a lot of profit sharing I see as well. That SD total. Okay, interesting, right? So let's give us some answers then. Some of the figures are pending, tax returns are not available, supporting notes. Said that, allow me to add the seller's broker email me to inform of new development, which is shocker me, and the seller is considering an increase in sale purchase price. All right, so we got some information about the add backs, right? Let's see the video. Interesting what he said there. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So I'll start from the beginning and we'll watch it together. It's 9 minutes. I think it's worth watching because it's supposed to lead this deal and potentially operate it. So let's see.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to share some exciting information with you. My name is O.B. Ajayi, and I'm so excited to present a business acquisition opportunity we have on the radar at Vestorway Holdings. First, allow me to say a little bit about myself. I have an accounting educational background, and I have worked for one of the top 3 major US banks in retail operations to payroll administration, operations coordination, all the way to private placements within a span of 7 years. I currently own a small business entity that's specialized in tax accounting, insurance, real estate, business development, wherein we help other businesses to float their incorporations, LLCs, and what have you, including nonprofit organizations.
What do you think so far, guys? Would you invest in a guy like that?
Which we founded in the year 2007. So by this coming February, the 6th to be precise, will be 15 years. I'm a certified Microsoft IT professional with 7 certifications in Microsoft Dynamics, in ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Planning. It's a business technology platform. I created a prototype of an internet protocol multimedia platform in 2018, which we are now attempting to create a flagship operation for. And my wife has almost 2 decades of experience as a senior IT manager at one of US top companies in aviation. She's an expert in agile methodology for project management and also software development. So this goes to say that I'm not only familiar with ERP, technology, business development, project management, real estate, financial service solutions, but are also backed by an amazing stakeholder that's a support system for this particular acquisition. Excuse me. My purpose for reaching out to potential investors is to introduce myself, talk about the aspirations as well as the business opportunity we have on the radar. Of course, you'll have some questions for me. No dispute about that. But I'll gladly be ready to answer you at a moment's notice and dive into respond to whatever questions or concerns or messages you may have regarding this video pitch deck. The name of our business is Vestorway Holding Series Limited Liability Company, but for sure we call it Vestorway. It's a Texas Series LLC established in 2020 with the primary goal of providing transformative digital solutions across the board. To achieve this lofty goal, we have set up the flagship operations under this holdings company to take advantage of acquisitions lines, both complementary and auxiliary to the business core interest. At this point, we have a 35-year-old company in view for acquisition. But first, let me talk about our vision, which is to deliver a vast corporate portfolio with an outcome-driven, multifaceted digital transformation technology that's focused on revolutionizing, particularly the healthcare, cognitive, and physical rehabilitation sector. Something that we believe that, though it's starting with a pitch today, will be in the Forbes magazine of tomorrow. So join us on this ride as we embark on it. Our mission is to create a flagship establishment that focuses on all-round solutions to customers, a fulfilling working environment for our workforce, as well as...
Before we continue, I'll just share with you quickly some of my thoughts. First of all, I like the way that he dressed in the video. I don't like the background. I think it looks amateurish a bit. His background sounds like he's a professional, but I'm not feeling like we're getting to the point fast enough. I feel like it's a bit all over the place. Like, I want to understand, what deal are we investing in? What is he offering for me, for the investor? What kind of returns? What is his plan? Like, I want to get there faster. We're 4 minutes in. I don't know. For me, it's like, I want to get there. Like, tell me, what do you want? Tell me about you. Tell me about your background. Tell me about the deal. Tell me about what you're offering. Tell me about your plan to grow the business. Tell me about the numbers of the business.
Ambitious results that our stakeholders can proudly identify with and also help to promote. The solution that we intend to provide is such that and manage the flagship operation through a telecommunications project management platform to achieve our corporate end goal, thus making Vestorway a global phenomenon, both inspirational and transformative in its entirety. Our market focus is business to business for now.
Yeah, I see what Bill's writing. I'm with you. What's the product? What's the customer? Where are the customers? What's the market opportunity? What's the total addressable market? What's the goal? Like, what's the problem you're solving? What's the solution?
But we expect that at some point it will scale to also cover business to consumers. The nature of the target is still consumer products, healthcare, commercial real estate, as well as industrial businesses in general. Highlights of the acquisition we have on the radar. This is a telecom project management business, the offer of which...
We're 5 minutes in. Is the first time that I hear about a telecom deal, right?
Has been countersigned and accepted as of January 4th of this year, 2022, by the seller. We are now seeking to raise debt, equity, capital, or a combination of both debt and equity, deal structure, as well as any potential third-party preferred equity finance vehicle.
Also, would be great if I saw a presentation while he's speaking, right? So
that may be out there. The company that we are targeting runs a turnkey telecommunications operation and supports its clients through technological changes from analog to digital, internet protocol, telephone technical support, and remote support through modem and internet connection. But at this juncture, we have 30-day window as of January 4th to wrap up due diligence to cover both legal and accounting. And of course, we know that due diligence for lenders would also be included in that time frame. So the business has proven to be in a stable performance.
Okay, so quick clarity. Marjan, hopefully I pronounced it right. He's not a broker. He's looking to buy the business.
Historical status, at least going by the data that has been provided us. And it seems to also be been operating in growth mode. The revenue and adjusted EBITDA grew at a compound annual rate of 27.2% and 40% respectively from fiscal year 2018 to fiscal year 2021. So also is the average gross profit margin, which currently shows 44.6% from fiscal year 2018 to fiscal year 2021. We don't foresee any issues along the way because the owner is also interested, has a vested interest in our success, and is interested in working with us just to make sure that we are well situated. And as such, we know we are covered in the first and second year as the owner is willing to join us.
I agree with you, Fred, 100%. Yeah, we need visuals. We need something to keep our eyes engaged, right? Because this is like, oh, man. And don't get me wrong, like I'm the first one who have an accent, but as someone with an accent, I can talk about that. But because you have an accent, like I got to be engaged, and I'm not engaged to the way that he's speaking. I got to be engaged to something else.
Management role for the first year and the consulting capacity, if needed, for an additional 1 or more years, as the case may be. The deal structure goes as follows. Number one, the accepted price is $3 million. The calculated business valuation on it is $4.7 million. My own assessment based on a highly reputed online valuation resource center. 5% of this $3 million is expected for us to come to the table with, which amounts to $150,000. And we also budget a projected 2% to spend on administrative costs, due diligence, accounting, legal, all coming out to be $60,000. So for a total of $210,000. 75% of the $3 million we expect that the seller will have at closing, and that amounts to $2.25 million in corporate debt or equity, or a combination of both. We successfully got the seller to accept it. A 20% seller carry note, which is $600,000.
It is concerning, right? If you can, at the same time, like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's the first time someone perhaps ever did a video, so maybe give them a benefit of the doubt. But I hear you. First impression, like, is this the guy that want to lead a company or lead a roll-up of potentially hundreds of employees? We hear about a deal structure, but I don't hear about his plan. What he's going to do with the business? Why the business is good? Why that business is better than competitors? What's the plan to do with the business after he's buying the business to at least sustain it and not destroy it, or hopefully grow the business, right? Maybe we'll get to it, but it's like, okay, you want money. What am I getting with this money? I understand it's an IT business, but it's kind of like...
Interestingly enough, we got the seller to put that $600,000 on hold in standby mode for the first 2 years. And from the third year anniversary, a monthly note kicks in at the rate of 5%. The offer is structured contingent on the business meeting certain KPIs, which we expect to be secured by this seller carry notes. And we have done this as a way to keep the owner incentivized going forward. So, having said that, what do you think?
What do you think, guys? Would you invest or not invest before you even see anything else? Like, I don't think I have enough information at this point. I don't know him well enough. Maybe he did a great job finding the deal and negotiating a great deal, and I'll see that in a second. So maybe what we can do here is bring a better operator, right? So maybe that guy is not the guy to lead the overall operation of the business, and he could maybe, get equity for bringing the deal and whatnot. But do I want him to run the day-to-day and run and lead other employees? I'm not sure. 100%, right? I don't even know what I'm getting myself into so far with this video. Maybe the documents will help me, but when there's an opportunity for first impression, I need to get to be sold on like the first minute, but I would probably leave it because I'm not engaged. As simple as that. I'm not excited to continue and watch it. If I'm going to invest in a guy like that, this has got to be improved. Like the whole presentation, everything, the design, the way he presents himself on the video, the combination between screen and him, Ronnie saying, yeah, not super exciting, but maybe if you give him some critical feedback, he'll come back with a better pitch and impress. The fact that he got to those results, by the way, for me is a big win because it shows me that he can execute. And we'll get to it, but there's an LOI sign I see here. There's a term sheet I assume from a bank, loan amount. Well, look, we got 2.245 loan amount, prime plus 2.27, 10 years, not too bad. Payment 224,000. Okay, so the first thing I see that I don't like, you shall hereby deposit 2,500 refundable to be held. That's the first thing that probably if I was talking to the bank, I would just waive that because it means that they're probably not taking him too seriously yet as a credible buyer. I could probably waive that out. Well, I guess it's refundable, so I won't be too worried. But still, I just don't like those terms. It's like when a broker tells you, "Hey, pay me $10,000 just to look at a deal." I'm like, well, that's interesting, right? So I mean, you talk to a financial institution, you can give me money for the deal. I mean, that's a good sign, right? What else we got here? Let's see the notes that we have here. Below are my examples that I shared potential lenders. Okay, cool. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have some notes here on the deal. Business types are the business specialized in complete telecommunication project manager services, coordinates with outside tech vendor, including structure, cabling, voice. I love it that companies always want to say that they're operating in growth mode. That's why they don't have profits. I mean, that's why they can have more profits. Especially, I mean, a lot of technology companies, for real, that's how they behave. But I mean, for a company that exists for 35 years, really, I mean, I don't know. According to the owners, July, the estimated revenue signed contracts as of July. Okay, interesting. Profit margin, this long-term alliance with clients exceeding 15 years. That's a good note, right? That's how I like to see that. Imagine if you told me that in the presentation. Hey, we're looking to buy a business. Some of the clients that this business is serving already work with that business for 15 years. How much more confident would that give me? Knowing that, holy shit, like that's amazing. How many businesses did you know that have clients for 15 plus years? Not a lot, right? 90% of repeat work. How beautiful that is. How much we had there in revenues? You guys remember? Was it what, 3 million with 5 employees? Guys, if those are the numbers, this is incredible. So it's about $600,000 revenues per head. This is incredible. If this is for real, right? And that's one thing I immediately think about. Like, I didn't see statutory accounts. All I saw is just a random screenshot. I don't know if those are the real numbers or not. I'd like to see some kind of a tax return. That'll be great and give me some confidence about the numbers. Okay, cool. Well, that gives me already more information than the video you gave me about the business, right? Probably I'd love to see an interview with the owner, right? Understanding what's the business, how dependent the business is on the owner as well. Is he looking to stay in the business after the exit or not? Also, I mean, we saw 500 facilities. Really, 5 employees can handle 500 facilities. I want to understand how would that work. What else? Okay, cool. Let's look at the opportunities, right? So capitalize on its top talent nationwide for expansion. Other information. Okay, cool. So we have here some information about him. That's the buyer, the guy we saw in the video. I have an accountant in the Okay, so we heard that in the video a bit. That's good. What happens when the owner leaves? Are the clients going to live with him? What are we going to do to make sure that as part of the clauses in the agreement, there's some kind of potential penalty if the client leaves, or maybe we put the deal on some kind of an earn-out to make sure that if clients leaves, then we don't have so much of a downside. Yeah, and I see a message. Is there an opportunity for us to pitch businesses on these calls? Email me. It's moran@acquisitions.com, and I'll consider that. I'm not sure, to be honest, yet, because right now we want to serve, first of all, people in our accelerators. But I mean, if you have an amazing deal and you want us to partner with you, we might be open to that. In the very unlikely event the deal doesn't close by any act of God, then we withdraw the fees. Do you have experience with this software arrangement? Okay, so the answer is yes. Highlight of the deal in view. This is the business acquisition of a telecom project management. The seller is countersigned my LOI January 4th. That's something I want to figure out, how much of an exclusivity period he got. That's a big red flag in my book. I don't like that. I want it to be longer for sure. The business has proven to be stable performance over the past few years. It's been operating in growth mode in a management role for the first year and in consulting capacity if needed for an additional 1 more year. Okay, so that shows me on potentially what's possible with the seller as part of the transition period, right? If you guys enjoyed that, by the way, email me, moran@acquisitions.com. If you like to invest in those deals or bring your deals, or you just enjoy them in general, let me know so I'll know to do more of those. Oh, there you go. We got some details, right? So the deals had 3 million accepted amount. Calculated business valuation. What is the calculate? Oh, that's the third party that I've heard we have here, I guess. So there's a third party valuation I saw here somewhere. Business valuation calculator. I don't know what's that company, but so I guess some other random company gave him the number of 4.6. Better than nothing, but I don't know how they get to this valuation. Okay, so they're asking for 5% down, and $50 required from me for investors. Serious, got it. 75% business loan to value. So that's good. He was able to get like 75% loan to value from institutions. 27%. Okay, so we got some seller financing. That's a good sign as well. The offer structure continues on the business with certain KPIs. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, we have a full Rolodex in our network, in our community. Yeah, so asset lend depends on the type of asset lenders, but there's some that will definitely loan you for the acquisitions on the front end, yes. So we're looking, like I said, if you go to Business Buying Scouts, if you search Facebook, I'll write it down, search Facebook for Business Buying Scouts group. You'll be able to join our calls on bringing us deals that we might potentially do. And you'll be able to get money for sending us deals. And for those of you who want us to support you in buying your own business in the next year, I suggest you to apply to our accelerator and work with us in the next year. And then we can support you on how to find your own deals, how to analyze your own deals. I see that there's also our financial model. Okay, so I got it. Okay, so that's, by the way, one of the documents that we share with all of our clients on how to prepare an offer and prepare an LOI really fast. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, this document really helps you create different alternatives for an offer. But let's see what he wrote down here. Okay, so there's the balance sheet. Yep, lots of cash. That's good. Some receivables, inventory. I'd love to understand the quality of the receivables, total current assets, property, other assets, payables. I'd like to also see expansion on what are each of those. That'll be great to understand. A company acquiring, okay, you want to acquire 100%. There's the legal fees that he's assuming. This could probably be less. I don't think this deal size would cost that much. Do you have an aging and cash flow report by any chance? I didn't see regards to that. No, I don't see. You should probably ask. Yeah, I don't know why you wrote down so much in legal. It doesn't make sense. Probably, I don't know, I just wrote it down for the sake of it. This deal shouldn't cost that much. Probably cost a very fractional of that. Okay, anyway, guys, I got to end the call. So I'll summarize because I got to run for another call that I got in a minute. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. I would go through this anyway myself. So I'd rather go through it when you guys are around, and it will hopefully teach you some stuff. And in the future, we might open some good deals that we enjoy for you guys to invest alongside us. And also, if you have great deals, let me know. Or if you guys want to learn the process, just join our accelerator or our incubator. I'll actually post a link right now on that as well, because my next goal is with our incubator clients, which you can find at acquisitions.com/buy-sell. I just posted it. That's an opportunity for you to work with me for 4 weeks to learn about this process. If you know, okay, acquisitions is for me, I want to do this long-term and I want to do roll-ups and whatnot, then I suggest you apply for different accelerators and concierge services where we can really help you accelerate, do roll-ups, and also help you optimize operations on your existing businesses if you have, or if you don't, we can help you do roll-ups probably faster with some of the proprietary systems and processes we have. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys spending an hour with me. I had some good time. Hopefully you enjoy looking at random deals like I do. And if you're not, we'll do more of those and you'll get used to it. Anyway, I appreciate you all, guys. Reach out if you need any help, and have a great rest of your week. Take care.